doing this a little weird. Hopefully it works. I'm doing the voiceover on my phone, sending it to my Mac to overlay on the video so that we can talk about all of this. So this is the land that I bought. I told you guys about it several months ago that I had found about 1 acre, and we were going to try to build a house. I laid out some really nice plans. Wish I had those plans now. I could show you them. But anyway, had really nice plans laid out of how I wanted it to go. And that all started with, we need to cut all the trees down because I want to know exactly what I've got to deal with. And I'm probably going to need to use all the land anyway. So I want to cut all the trees down. That's where it started. So that's what this video is. Just showing them very slowly, might I add, cutting down all of the trees. They brought in a wood chipper, which you'll probably see later in the video here, and chipped up all the wood, made it into a huge pile. But the story starts here, and this going to be a really long story, so if this is a long video, hopefully it's not too boring. Anyway, so here's how it all went down. I found this land on Realtor, and it was like a prefab home included. You get the house. Oh, there goes the tree. You get the house. You pay a set price. You get the land and house included. There's the wood chipper. And I liked the house. It was decent. They told me I could make any changes to it, being it wasn't actually built yet. Anything I wanted to change about it, I could. But they were like, well, how much do you want of the land cleared? Because you don't need to clear all of it. Well, I want it all cleared. So here is work in progress. All the trees are down. I think there are still stumps everywhere at this point. But there's the gist of what I have. Now, when I bought the land, on the deed, it says, I think, 0.87 acres. So it's just under an acre. But I'm thinking, if you punch that into a calculator, you end up with like 40,000 square foot. The house that I want was 4,000 square foot. There should be plenty of land left over for everything I want to do. Maybe put a pool in, maybe do a detached garage. I mean, all these things that I thought would be really cool. And so I start drawing up plans and I start trying to do it to scale to see what I've got. And we hit a very big snag in this project. There were multiple snags, but in this particular instance, there was one very big snag. And that happened to be that because it borders 2 roads, which you may see if I spin the camera around here, I'm not real sure. These are old videos and I'm trying to voice over. So there's one of the roads there to your left. But it borders 2 roads. And the way the state works is the property line goes to the very center of the road. And then there's 20 foot from that center of the road into your land that you can't touch, can't use, can't build on, can't do anything with. It is considered government property. And because this land borders 2 roads, there is a huge chunk of land that is unusable. So my 0.87 acres ended up being 0.49 or something stupid. It was real stupid small. And by the time we put the house, we marked the house out on the land, which is like right here below the wood chipper back. I'm trying to explain it without being able to show you. The house is sitting in this corner up here. It comes almost down to the road within the 20-foot area. So we can't put the house in the 20-foot area. And then you're begged with the question of, well, what do you do for a septic tank? Because you got to have septic. There's no city sewer here. You got to figure it out yourself. And there just wasn't enough room for the house and the septic, much less a detached garage, much less a pool. And, if you can see, there's a parcel here. You'll probably see it better later on in the video, but there's still trees between the house over to the far right and then the wood chipper. That is another parcel of land that is for sale. And the deal is they are in cahoots with the contractor. They're not trying to sell you land. They're trying to sell you a fully built house, and then they'll take a cut of the commission made on that house so they get more money. They get more than $20,000 because the land is listed for $20,000. you don't get it for $20,000. They want you to buy the house too, which is like $300,000. So they're not willing to sell you just the land. They want to sell you the land and a house to make money. So when I tried to inquire about buying that land just to have more room to put a septic tank in, they wouldn't sell it to me. They offered to sell me land in the back. If you'll notice in the back, there is a house back there, but there's a lot of trees in between. They offered to go about 5 or 10 foot in more toward their house if I needed that for expansion, but it wasn't going to be enough to even say it was worth it. Like, it may add the septic tank, but it wasn't going to do the pool that I wanted to do. It wasn't going to do the detached garage. It just wasn't big enough. The biggest issue we ran into was there was just no room for a septic tank to put the house that we wanted. We'd have to go to a smaller house. And the fact that they had put this prefab house on the land saying, you know, oh, this is good, this is, you know, this will fit, we were kind of set on that at that point. So there's a better shot of the land next door. They're taking down more trees, so I still own this side of it, but anywhere they take down trees is mine. So it's not a very big parcel. I think the measurement is 0.6 acres, but you also have to account for that 20 foot from the center of the roadway there. So it's probably less than 0.5 acres, maybe even smaller. Same issue. That land is so small, there's no room to put a septic tank with any size house. There's just no room. I think, oh, okay, I'll go over here and show you a little bit on the other side. That's cool. So the only way to put a house in is, you see that field back there behind the tree line. We just kind of skimmed over it really quickly. The only way to put a septic in is to get an easement to run pipes and a pump to pump your sewage over into that field where a septic tank could be placed in the field. That's the only way you could have a septic tank in this center plot between me and the house that's already there. So it's not ideal. It's not good. No one would want that. So yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here, or the video is getting ahead of me. This is the house that they built. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to show it to you. Maybe it's not this one. Okay, cool. The contractor that I hired, or went in contract with to build my house, built the house behind the camera right now. And since then, I've heard nothing but horror stories out of this house. Just constant issues. The foundation is falling in. I mean, this house isn't even occupied yet. It was just built. Here it is. But it's just not up to par. It is a very poorly built house. And, you know, it's he did, she did kind of thing, where they blame each other and say, well, it wasn't my fault. There's a tree. I almost hit that. It wasn't my fault. But you know what? It's not you who suffers at the end of the day. It's the buyer that suffers, and that would be me. So I definitely don't want to get caught up in that. There were a lot of things that just came out after the fact about this contractor and how untrustworthy he was, and just how things just didn't seem quite right. And so I decided to pull the plug. I decided to cancel this entire project. The land is currently up for sale, and there should be a video here after this one somewhere, to just show the final product. Yep, that's coming up next. So the land was cleared. All the stumps were dug out. All the trees were chipped up into mulch. The mulch still sits on the land. All the stumps are in a big pile, and I can't get anybody to haul them off. I have tried. I've contacted multiple companies. I get no response. It amazes me how people say that, you know, there's no jobs, there's no work, blah, blah, blah. But then you can't get them to do a basic job. And this is just the beginning. There's a whole nother story to this at the end here. So, but yeah, as it sits, there's still a huge stump pile on the land. I can't get it off. Can't get anybody to do anything with it. The land is listed for sale. And unfortunately, it looks like whoever buys the land is going to have to get the stumps hauled off themselves, because I can't seem to get anybody to do it. So this is it. This is the 0.5 acres that I bought that turned out to not be what I thought it was. And we decided to pull the plug. Here's me, my truck. But we'll get to the final bit here. Didn't trust the contractor. Didn't trust the neighbor. Didn't trust anybody. It takes a lot to earn my trust. So I guess there's that. But when you do something that makes me believe I shouldn't trust you, you're out. You're out for good. I don't trust you. So the contractor had been caught up in multiple situations where he had been contracted to build a house and did not follow through. So here's the final product. There's your big stump pile. Comes free with the land. He did not follow through. Multiple houses, multiple customers who are now in active lawsuits with him, where he just did things wrong. The house is not structurally safe or sound. It could fall in at any moment. There's just so many things wrong. The thing that got me off, not like that. The thing that turned me off to this guy was, in order to start this project, he wanted a $30,000 retainer. I gave him $30,000 cash, and he could not account for any of that money. He couldn't tell me where any of it went, where he had spent any of it. This project, to get all these cleared and mulched and, what you see done here, was $10,000. And so I'm like, okay, you should have $20,000 left. And he could not account for a dime of that $20,000 that's supposed to be left. And he tried to send me a fake invoice showing that he had spent all $30,000 on this land and that he needed more money. And I was like, yeah, that's not how this is going to work. I retained a lawyer. I showed him that I meant business. That was not how this was going to go. We ended up agreeing on a settlement of $16,000. He transferred $16,000 to my bank account, and I fired him. So that was the end of his job. And there's a whole lot more to this story, but I don't have enough time in this video to do that, because when we get done here, I'm going to show you part 2 of this project, which is the 4 acres that I purchased at a different location. And it has been a headache, and we haven't even really started. So I hired the same grading company that did this to do my new land, because I felt like, they did a pretty decent job here. They did what I asked them to do. And they did come back and seed the grass, grass seed for the land, and, try to make it up to code so that we don't get the EPA all over us. Felt like they'd done a pretty decent situation overall. So I hired them to come back and do my other land. The problem is, this was like half an acre we cleared. The new land we cleared 3 acres of the 4. And then I wanted it flat, because you can't build on a hill. You'll have a sideways crooked house. I'm not into all that. So, so I had them do a ton of grading to make it flat. And unfortunately, I don't have any flyover video of that just yet, but, I'm sure that it will come in a future video. So, so that's the end of this parcel here, and it is for sale still. I have not, had any luck with it just yet. I do have it listed a little high because I'm trying to recoup my costs, for being fed lies and told that I could do one thing when I really can't, and it's just not big enough for what I want. Did a little bit of this. In the process, I did get rid of my gray Tesla. You probably already know that if you watch my other videos. And I went for the Model Y Performance in red, and so I thought that'd be pretty cool to do a little flyover here. Just did a little pull off. This is not far from the first piece of land that I purchased, so I was down there one day with the drone and thought, I'll grab some video of my car. So this was just me playing, trying to show off the car, do a little intermission in between stories. So the new land is 4 acres. We cleared 3 acres, and we've already ran into some problems there as well. One being that the grading crew did not get the proper permits to do that. And I don't know anything about land. I've never done land. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this was pre-tint. Look at that. Not even any tint on the windows. And then this next video here is in Maine with Avery and Devin. I just did a little flyover. I think this is in Rangeley, but anyway, they didn't do the proper permitting to clear 3 acres. They only got the permit to clear 1 acre. So there was that. It's whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're not familiar with how things work here. I definitely was not familiar with how things worked here. So, mistakes were made, and we've got the EPA on us now. But hopefully we got that sorted out. We've still not got the paperwork filed, but we're going to file the paperwork to fly over on Devin and them. We're going to file the paperwork to get that going. So this is a shot from the new land. We're not technically in the city limit on the new land, so I can burn any trees that we cut down. So that's cool. This to the right here is the driveway starting at the new land, and it looks way better than this. This was the beginning stages. We're just starting to get everything going, and I'll try to go get some more video. Actually, I probably got some more video, not drone footage. Driveway goes in through here like this, and then we cleared 3 acres back here. I was going to leave this buffer of trees between the power lines and the house, but it looked way better if I just took it out. So we took all that out. We went way down to the end of the property line, which, I mean, you can't see from this video because I don't show that far back, but we went all the way down to the end of the property line. It's a total of 3 acres. It's plenty for the house that I plan on putting, and the garage and a pool and who knows what else, because there's going to be leftover. So this is the new land. And like I said, it came with its fair share of problems as well. Trying to find a new contractor that can build a house and not completely screw me over is step number 1, which can't seem to get anybody to do that. I do have one in mind that was highly recommended by family, but that's not really going too well just yet. He doesn't like to communicate for some reason, so not sure that's going to work for us. Tried to hire a company to come drill a well, and I have not had any luck there. I need to get an electrician to put in temporary electrical service. Have had no luck with that. Oh, okay. I put this in twice, apparently. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's come with its fair share of headaches. This is a little bit more cleared, a little bigger area you can see, but as you can tell, it's not entirely done yet. So I'm going to look and see if I have a video on my phone here that I can import to show you like what it looks like today. We did have to do a lot of grading to get it up to grade to be flat, because I wanted the house site to be flat. I didn't want I don't want it on a hill, and I don't want a basement. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I care about. Everybody, that was one of the biggest things. Everybody's like, oh, you should get superior wall basements. And then other people are like, yeah, you don't want to do that. And so you look it up and it's like, yeah, I did superior walls and they're waterproof, and what's that water coming in for? So, didn't want to have to deal with any of that. I didn't even really want a basement. So, we picked a really nice house plan. I'll maybe I can show you a little bit about it in a future video or on the end of this one. Not real sure. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. This is the new land, and I will try to include a video here at the end of the rest of it. But it's completely graded at this point. There's nobody on it, nobody working. It's the way it should be, which is good. And we're just waiting to start building at this point. And like I said, I have a builder in mind, but that's not going entirely the way I thought it would. I was trying to get them to build before winter, and I see this white stuff on the ground here. I don't know what this is. I thought it was snow, and I was like, it's not cold enough to snow. It was like in the 40s. I don't really know what that was. Maybe it's just a big pile of cocaine. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding. But there was something white on the ground, and it looks exactly like snow, but it did not snow at that particular point in time, so I don't know what it is. I was getting closer to see what is that. It was so muddy that there was no way I could walk in there without like getting mud all over my Tesla. So yeah, not happening. But I did have them put a gate here where the cat is parked, just to kind of keep people out, and that will be a motorized gate in the future. That big orange spot on that tree back there was the line. That's where we cut the trees down to just make this entire area open. I made a line for them because they didn't seem to understand how big of an area I wanted here. Oh, we might be able to see the back of the property. Nope, we can't. Okay, so this is the video of them actually doing work on the land. This was during the whole process. Looks like there was some gravel here, so I may have gotten these videos out of order. My bad. I just pulled these off my phone right quick just to show. So they're just moving. I think what they're doing here is they're still just taking trees down and moving everything down into a pile to be burnt. So this is like part 2 from what you seen a minute ago. This is, they cleared more land than what was cleared earlier, but still not quite entirely cleared on this one. But After this, they bring in a big dozer to help push out some stuff as well. It may already be down there somewhere. I'm not real sure. And then they brought a roller to pack down the dirt, make sure everything's real good and good to go. I think this next video shows that. Not real sure. But this was shot on my mom's iPhone. She did this, so it's not the greatest quality, but it gets the point across. You get to see what's going on here. And I'll try to, there's not much audio here, but I'll try to blend the audio so that it's not completely a silent video here. This is the marker that you'll see there. I'm talking, but I'm probably going to mute that. Marker on the left there is for the garage. The ones on the right are for the house. So these are just marking off where things are going to be. There's your roller and your dozer. And then we have a little, culvert thing there just for water. But the two markers on the left are for the garage. And then you got your septic pipe sticking up over there. So the septic's already in, ready to go on that. And then over on the other side, where my truck is parked, is where the house is going to be. Now, this has been cut down even more to grade since this video, which probably is coming up after this video, to be perfectly honest with you. But you can see they packed it down really well. Did a pretty good job. Got everything the way I wanted it, at least. My biggest complaint at this point in time was, the flat area doesn't really go back very far. So I asked them to make it go back further. And you'll see that in the next video as well. And then here is the most recent video we've got. They did end up cutting the bank down some more, just so you would have a nice flat area for your house. And let's see, did I go back here? There is the lower part of the land where they brought dirt from to build up the upper part. And as you can see, it's just a straight drop off, and it's still pretty much that way. But we measured 70 foot from the house to the edge of that bank, so there should be plenty of room to do other stuff with. But hopefully this just gives you a little overview of the new property. And I went way past my video here on voiceover, but whatever. Just wanted to show you guys the progress and what's going on. We are a lot further with the new property than we ever got with the first property. But hopefully, when it gets warm and the snow goes away, we can get back to work on this. We are going to build the garage first, and I'll put some pictures here at the end of the garage and just what it's going to look like. And then we're going to work on the house. But the house is probably another year or two away because the garage is way cheaper to build, way easier to build, and we can live in the garage. We have an upstairs apartment, so we can live in the garage till the house is done and at least be on the property and kind of, whatever. Anyways, that's the update on my house project, and it's a whole big story. There's a whole lot more to it with this contractor. I'm just happy to be out of that situation. There are some other ladies involved who have pending lawsuits, so I can't really comment on them. But I have spoke to them, and their stories are very similar. Problems, frame issues, etc. So, don't want that. All right. See you guys later.